Good afternoon, almost good evening. Welcome back to Senate Finance. We are going to hear a couple bills and we're going to work session a couple bills, more than a couple. So we will start with Assembly Bill 224 and Assembly Member Mosca. So when you're ready. Oh, well, there we go. There's an echo in here and it sounds just like me. That is a really scary thought. You know what you have to do now? You have to write 50 times on your bill, I will turn off my phone. All right, please go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair and Committee. I truly appreciate your time in hearing this today. I'm Erica Mosca, representing Assembly District 14 in East Las Vegas. You may wonder why I've chosen to work on this legislation in the interim, and I'm grateful for your time today. It's because when I visited places throughout our state, like Ely, where I've been multiple times, it reminds me of East Las Vegas, a sometimes forgotten community. No one asked me to hold this bill. I just wanted to find a solution. Assembly Bill 224 is a measure that would create a statewide solution to a pervasive statewide problem: construction costs for rural schools who do not have the local capacity to fund construction. I appreciate the work of this committee, who have been committed to this issue and appropriated money in the past. After over a year in the interim of trying to figure out a solution, this bill today is not an appropriation ask, but instead asks for a monetary policy change in general obligation bonds. The goal of this bill is to create a mechanism where a school district under the size of 15,000 should not have to come to our body to ask for an appropriation ever again, but can instead apply through the Fund to Assist School Districts in Financial Capital Improvements, which was created in 1999 and only funded once. This bill allows bonds to be used for funding. With a school built in 1909 and 1913 in use today, White Pine School District is the most needy school district based on the criteria of this fund. In closing, I wanted to make sure you knew White Pine has the third highest tax rate of 7.725%, only behind Clark and Washoe counties, and have approved multiple times in their local elections to tax themselves to pay for school construction. Their property tax of $3.64 has been at the cap since 1997, and they will be putting in $10 million towards the school should this pass. Thank you again, and I'm grateful that Chairman Moreno is joining me as my phone a friend here today, and we're ready to take questions.
Thank you very much. Questions from the committee? Senator Titus? Thank you very much. Questions from anybody? Senator Canizaro, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Assemblymember Mosca, for presenting the bill today and keeping it short. So I just wanted to clarify just a few things, and I think you mentioned this. This would apply to any school district that would qualify for the 15,000 threshold. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you, Majority Leader. There are 8 counties currently under 15,000 of Esmeralda, Eureka, Story, Lincoln, Mineral, Lander, Pershing, and White Pine.
And then what would the qualifications or requirements be for a school district that wanted to come and ask for this bond funding?
Yes, thank you. Great question. Under the Fund to Assist School Districts in Financing Capital Improvements, it's already an NRS, and their 3 stipulations are: at least one building has been condemned, or at least one of the facilities is unsuitable for use due to certain conditions, or one of the facilities is in such a condition that the cost of renovating the facility would exceed 40% of the cost of constructing a new facility.
Great, thank you. And I guess the amount for the $100 million, was that based on a need? Was that based on just trying to allocate it to make sure there was enough for each school district, or how much do you think that would facilitate across the state?
Yes, thank you, and that's also a great question. That is how much they are right now estimating that would cost. However, they don't expect to take all of that money because they have to put skin in the game as well, and we expect that of them.
Okay, great. And then this might be, well, I think actually I'm okay on questions. Thank you, Assemblymember Mosca. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and I'll go to Senator Wynn.
Thank you. And I know that you have been working on this for quite some time. You had indicated that there were 8 counties that indicated that they were, or that would qualify for potentially these funds. In those 8 counties, how many of them potentially, I guess it would be school districts within those 8 counties would qualify and have projects that meet those 3 criteria that are currently in the NRS?
Erica Moster for the record. Yes, and then what, from our understanding, White Pine is the one that is the most needy based on those criteria out of the 8.
Are there any other districts that have the need as well? I realize that is the most dire of those 8, it sounds like, but are there any other counties that would be able to apply for these as well?
I think that's a good question. I think in the past, other counties have, but there wasn't funding. I think there may be, but just the way that, the way at least I understand it, is that with the criteria, even if there are others, that they would be at the top because of the current need. But there may be others.
And I'm sorry, I haven't pulled up I'm pulling it up right now, but who determines within the current NRS, let's say you had like 3 counties that applied with their projects, who makes that determination and ranks the different like needs? And is it, let's say one county comes in, White County is like, we need all 100,000. Does all 100,000 go to them? And let's say there's another county that comes in and says, we only need 25,000. How is that allocated currently in statute, and who does that determination?
Erica Moster for the record. Do you mind, Vice Chair, if we ask legal? I'm not sure on that.
Mr. Thorley, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. So under existing law, this is an NRS 387.3335. So the Board of Trustees of a school district can apply to the Director of the Office of Finance, so that's the GFO Director, for a grant of money from the existing fund. And then there are some conditions that need to be met that the Assembly member mentioned. And then consulting with Department of Taxation, but ultimately it is the director of the GFO that makes those determinations.
And Mr. Thorley, I don't know if it says this, it is within the sole discretion of the director of GFO to make kind of some of those determinations, like if there were multiple applications. It's not, I guess, delineated in statute as to what the criteria are and what order they go in?
Wayne Thorley for the record. No, I'm not aware that there's any sort of, anything outlined in statute that requires some sort of ranking order. There, as the Assembly member mentioned in her testimony, the facilities have structural deficits or other things that be met. But other than that, there's nothing that I'm aware of in statute that suggests how it would be ranked.
Sorry, just Erica Moster for the record. And why we think that is because White Pine is the oldest school in the whole state. So they're using a school that was built in 1909 and 1913. So it's the oldest school out of all of them.
Thank you. I mean, I just had concerns because I can imagine in some of these smaller counties that they all struggle with some of these same issues. And I realize that White Pine has the oldest building that meets those criteria. I was just curious if there were other school districts that had similar projects, how they would make those kind of determinations. And it sounds like it's in the sole discretion of the GFO, director of GFO.
Danielle Monroe Moreno for the record, Chair of Ways and Means and represent Assembly District 1. I came today to support Assemblymember Mosca. During the last interim, I intentionally did a trip throughout the state, the entire state, hitting all 17 counties, and met with educators throughout the state. A lot of it because of a bill that we all passed last legislative session for the Oahe School, where we had bats in the cafeteria, and the kids couldn't use their cafeteria, couldn't use their gym, and I wanted to see firsthand the conditions of the schools throughout our state. I'm not sure exactly who makes that final determination, but what I can tell you is what I saw firsthand in talking to families and seeing those schools. We have a lot of schools in our rural communities that need help. And White Pine County in particular have raised their taxes to do what they need to do, but they don't have the tax base or the people there to actually pay for the school. They have tried everything they can, and this was like the last ditch effort for those kids. And when we talk about helping kids throughout this state, every child, no matter what county, city you're in, deserve to attend school, and a school that's safe. And this is a mechanism that will provide for every student, especially in those smaller counties that do not have the resources that a parent or a student has in Clark County or Washoe County.
I don't think any of us disagree. So if my questions came off as questioning whether or not I think we should like fund and have safe environments for kids to learn, I didn't mean it to be that way. I just assumed that in your travels across the state that White Pine County is probably not the only county that struggles with this. And so I just wanted to know whether or not other school districts would have the same opportunity, or if this funding, when you had said that this is what was estimated by them, the them, I'm assuming, was White Pine County, and so this would be it would be in that fund, but it doesn't sound like there would be enough money for any other projects, because it sounds like this would be for that school. Is that correct or not correct?
Erica Mosca, for the record, I do believe that is correct, but I also believe we will hear testimony later today that if you talk to all the superintendents in all the school districts, they will say they would rather, and I don't know if they'd say this, but they have been in support that White Pine, they know, should go first because of the current conditions. And the White Pine superintendent and CFO were here yesterday, and they had to go back, so they had to drive back. Well, one thing they would have told you on the record that we've heard multiple times is the worst thing that I think I saw was last school year, because they don't have ADA requirement. It's not ADA usage, that a student broke their leg that went to the seventh grade on the second floor, and they had to move the entire grade level down because there was no way to get that student up the stairs. So that student came and testified, and so that's why I think a lot of the rules have been pretty supportive that White Pine is probably the one that needs the most help.
And just to clarify, I just wanted to make sure it was on the record, because I know that there is need there, and it's my understanding, just to kind of, I had the opportunity to kind of look at the statute while I'm trying to multitask, so I'm probably not doing it well. I think it's the state Department of Public Works that actually ranks some of these like projects, and then ultimately it is the GFO that has that deciding authority, and that's ultimately approved by the Board of Examiners. So I think there is kind of a process in there to evaluate any other projects, but no, I appreciate it. I know you've been working hard on this. I remember when you learned of this story of that 7-year-old, and you told it to me. So thank you so much, and thank you for answering my questions.
Thank you very much, and I'll go to Senator Neal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The fiscal note that's on the bill, I'm assuming, you have the chair of Ways and Means here to back you up. Have we worked out this treasurer piece? Because in the note, they're saying that they didn't include it in their affordability report. But this is an old note, right? So this is February 12th.
Danielle Monroe Moreno, for the record, and yes, I have been in communications with the staff at the Treasurer's Office and have been assured that they can fit this into their bonding affordability. And that's why I felt comfortable moving the bill from Ways and Means to continue.
All right. Any additional questions? Senator Taylor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and welcome, Assembly colleagues. Well, welcome again. Just a quick question, and I remember last session the team from White Pine was here really making their case for this. So thank you for being responsive and giving them a way to have an answer. Just a couple of questions. I know the school was built forever ago. The ideal? Is it about one school? I know there's one building and then there's an elementary school. Would this address both? I think the one school is the one that's over 100 years old. What's the plan for that?
Erica Mosca for the record. Thank you, Senator Taylor. So there are two schools, not the high school, the middle school and the elementary school, built in 1909 and 1913. And their goal would be, if they got these funds through the bonds, they would build a K-8 so that they would not have to build two schools. They'd just build one.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any additional questions? Thank you for being here. Yes, I've taken the Nevada tour many, many times and have been going to Ely, Nevada since I don't even know when. We used to go up there and get cherry lime rickeys. So if you haven't had one of those, you need to get one of those at the corner drugstore. All right, thank you very much. If you'll step back, we'll ask those in support to come forward, please.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Tom Clark. I'm here on behalf of the Nevada Association of School Boards, and I was going to jump up and try to answer one of those questions, but I already interrupted your meeting once. I didn't want to do that again.
I'll wait for the
It's
bill
coming.
with, I will turn off my phone 50 times.
Thank you, Mr. Hillary. Tom Clark on behalf of the Nevada Association of School Boards. In answer to the question as far as the number of schools, it's interesting because we had come to the chair of Ways and Means in the interim and said, from the association's perspective, we would like to pursue a route to get additional funding for rural schools. This was our number one priority from the association's perspective. We had a long list of criteria that those districts would have to meet before they could qualify for a fund that we were going to set up. What it turns out is to be able to qualify for the bonds is just as much transparency, just as much strategic planning, just as much demonstrating the need for these schools and the ability to repay those bonds. So this bill brought forward by Assemblymember Mosca fit that criteria without having to have an actual fund set up to pay for the construction of those schools. So we see this as a solution that not only will help White Pine, which is in the most desperate situation, which has actually had its residents raise its taxes to pay for schools, which has done the strategic planning, which has demonstrated clearly what this school is going to look like when it's done, and is kind of first in line from the school district's perspective. The benefit, though, is that this bill gives those other districts hope that if they follow the same path down the road at some point, if they follow the same set of guidelines, they do their feasibility studies, they prove that the school desperately is in need of either complete demolition or repair, that this might be an avenue that they could take down the road as well. But for this biennium, White Pine County is desperately in need. We very much support this legislation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Michael Hillerby on behalf of the White Pine County School District. I know Superintendent Adam Young and Chief Financial Officer Paul really wanted to be here today. They had been in town for a couple of days. I believe they are on the phone and may say thank you themselves and answer some questions. And I think that's really all we can say at this point. Many of you know of it, many of you have been out there, is to say thank you. We fully know on behalf of the families and the students out there that you all that are on this committee every day are cognizant of the impact of the decisions you make, and this is one that will reverberate for decades in a community that really needs it. And all we can offer is a heartfelt thank you for your consideration. And again, Mr. Johnson and Superintendent Young may be on the phone as well to say thank you and answer questions. Again, a heartfelt thank you from that community.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Kyle Davis, today on behalf of Ampere Energy. Ampere Energy is a renewable energy developer, and we work in many rural Nevada counties, including in White Pine County. It's important to us to be a good community partner and work to help meet the needs of the county, and we are in support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Mary Przensky, here representing the Nevada Association of School Superintendents. And thank you, Senator Don Darrell Loop, for placing this on the agenda today. This is a very, very important bill. And this legislature has really paid attention to education and to kids, so we really need your support. this time. This community needs a new school. These children need a new school. They were here last session. Even the children even came and talked to the legislature about needing a school. So please give this serious consideration and help our kids out. Thank you.
Good evening, Donna Laffey on behalf of the Nevada Contractors Association. NCA is in support of the measure. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Dylan Shaver with Pinion Public Affairs here today on behalf of the Nevada Mining Association to thank Chairwoman Mosca for bringing this important piece of legislation to help all of the communities that we are assisting you in supporting. I'd be remiss, of course, not to thank the chair and the committee for hearing this important bill at the late hour. So again, just wanted to thank everybody on behalf of the miners. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Sarah Adler, representing the Duck Valley Shoshone Paiute Tribe, and Chairman Brian Mason, who, in solidarity, appreciate your time and request your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any additional support here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of AB 224, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Hello, Chair and members of this committee. This is Catherine Nielsen, Executive Director of the Nevada Governor's Council on Developmental Disabilities. We actually also received calls from parents from within the White Pine County School District, particularly as it pertains to children with disabilities and their rights within schools. So we're excited to see that they talked about the ADA compliance part of this, and we did all other comments. Thank you.
Next caller, please.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Chair and members of the committee, my name is Amanda Morgan, Executive Director of Educate Nevada Now. That's MORGAN. I'll keep it very short. I know it's this time of session. I just want to sincerely thank Chair Dondero Loop for considering this bill and for the rest of the committee for considering this. It's such a desperate need, and I just want to incorporate by reference my testimony that I provided previously, and we just strongly urge your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. Thank you, Chair Dondero Loop. This is Adam Young, Superintendent of White Pine. I want to thank Chair Dondero Loop as well as the entire committee for hearing this bill today and just express our appreciation on behalf of the entire community. We can't do this without your support. The reasons have already been explained for that. And we really believe in world-class learning here in White Pine. Those of you who have been out to see our community understand that. And the bare minimum that goes with that is ADA compliance and fire suppression and some of these things that have been talked about today. So we urge you to move this bill back to the Senate floor and help us with this. And we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Hi, Madam Chair. This is Paul Johnson. I'm the CFO for the White Pine County School District. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Assembly Representative Mosca and the Senate Finance Committee. You've already heard about the age of the facilities. We have objective engineering reports that have a whole list of deficiencies that we just simply can't remedy. And the bottom line is it's a mathematical impossibility for us to raise the funds on our own. I wish we could, but we simply need help, and that's what this bill would do. We are in support of that and just sincerely appreciate all that you do and the long hours that you all have put in on behalf of Nevada. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Caller with the last 3 digits, 020, please press star 6 to unmute yourself and you may begin.
Good evening, Chair Dondero Loop and members of the committee. Thank you to Assemblymember Mosca for championing this bill for our district. My name is Terry Borgoff, and I serve as a trustee for White Pine County School District. I'm also a proud parent of 3 children who've attended our schools, including the 2 we are here to discuss with regard to White Pine County schools. This bill would help not only our district, but 7 other rural districts as well. This isn't about replacing old buildings. It's about long-term savings through energy efficiency, lower maintenance, and fewer operational costs. It's about reducing liability risk from safety and compliance issues. And most of all, it's about giving our students and educators a space that truly supports learning. Our kids deserve a facility built for their future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Jerry, sit, don't move. Good evening, Madam Chair. So sorry about that. This is Dora Martinez with the Nevada Disability Peer Action Coalition, and we wholeheartedly ditto everyone's testimony. And thank you to the beautiful Assemblymember Masai and Dondero Loop and all the members of the committee and DMM. I forgot. Sorry, I forgot. Marilyn, I just want to say thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good to hear from you, Dora.
If you have recently joined us or have yet to speak and would like to testify in support of AB 224, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no further callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please. AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in opposition to AB 224, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the committee. This is Anna Binder, Binder. I am not in opposition, but I have just something friendly to say that goes over here. So I love this with all my heart, and thank you guys for this incredible work. However, the next county that is closest in population is Winnemucca. And if you guys would consider raising it to 20,000, they could be in line from the beginning. Because I don't know if we would have to expand it in the future, but they have a real need in their schools out there, as the Sun documented in that series that I think Hillary Davis did. So thank you.
There are no further callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you so much. And in neutral here in Carson City and in Las Vegas and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in the neutral position to AB 224, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you so much. Any closing comments? All right. Thank you very much for presenting Assembly Bill 224. And I will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 224 and open the hearing on Assembly Bill 596.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. It is great to be here with you this, I think it's evening now. My name is Nicole Canizaro. I represent Senate District 6 in the northwest portion of the Las Vegas Valley and serve as your Senate Majority Leader, and I'm very happy today to be helping to present what I think is a really important bill, Assembly Bill number 596. This bill funds certain aspects of several collective bargaining agreements with state employees. Last session, through the hard work of members of this committee and our really amazing fiscal staff who does a fantastic job, we were able to find money to help give substantial raises to state employees. And I think we began to correct some of the inequities that we have seen that had developed over many years in how these really wonderful public servants were compensated, especially when it compared to employees of local governments and other governmental entities. As a legislature, we have also made a policy decision to allow state employees to organize and engage in collective bargaining. That is something that is in Nevada law. And while the ultimate implementation of those bargaining agreements is subject to the fiscal realities that we face in the state budget and in this building, I believe that we do have an obligation to make a good faith effort to uphold the state's end of that deal for our employees. Rewarding and appropriately compensating state personnel is not only essential for keeping skilled and experienced employees in state service, it is also a way to reward those who have shown dedication to serving our communities. As competition for talent increases, we must do more than just recruit. We must recognize and we must retain. These incentives help to reduce costly turnover, ensure continuity in essential services, and send a very clear message that these people in our workforce, they matter. Their commitment is valued. Their contributions matter, and that we are willing to invest in them and in their future. To that end, we have worked closely with our fiscal staff to analyze what we can afford to do, and we are now bringing forward the amendment that is before you today, and all members of the committee should have a copy of the proposed mock-up. It's a proposed amendment 3128 to Assembly Bill number 596. Unfortunately, we of course cannot do everything this session with the bargaining agreements that were just recently ratified. But in my opinion, we can improve upon some of the things as this bill came over to us, and that is what is reflected in this amendment. Again, I think it is critically important that we do recognize our employees. I think that many of us wish that we were in the position where we could afford all of the different pieces of all of these CBAs. But what I think we've tried to do with the conceptual amendment that you see is to make sure that we can make those employees as whole as possible and help to recognize some of their contributions in alignment with the collective bargaining laws that we have on the books. So Assembly Bill number 596, with the proposed amendment, makes total state general fund appropriations $94.9 million and highway fund appropriations of $16.6 million over the 2025-27 biennium to enact certain provisions in collective bargaining agreements with state employee unions with the intent to maintain previously approved benefits from prior agreements and to include certain additional benefits. The proposed amendment revises the appropriation of funds and clarifies that the appropriated funds are to pay for retention incentives, the cost of annual leave payouts, and other agreed-upon allowances and reimbursements with respect to each collective bargaining agreement covered in the bill. The bill is structured so that each section pertains to a specific bargaining group or groups. Chapter 288 of Nevada Revised Statutes lists the occupational groups eligible for collective bargaining and assigns each group a letter. So for example, the occupational group made up of Category 1 peace officers is Group G, while the occupational group made up of firefighters is Group K. You should all have a one-page cheat sheet as well on your desks that will help you to identify which letter belongs to which bargaining group, and this cheat sheet is also available online. The goal of the proposed amendment is to continue to fund the generally similar or like benefits for each bargaining group that were funded by the prior legislature for the current biennium. There are several new bargaining groups this cycle that were either not organized or eligible for collective bargaining 2 years ago. So in these cases, the proposed amendment funds generally similar or like benefits compared to the other bargaining units. The proposed amendment would also fund a 1% cost of living adjustment or a COLA in FY26 and an additional 1% COLA in FY27 for all bargaining groups, regardless of whether the group bargained for a COLA or not. Additionally, the proposed amendment provides funding for a $1,000 per year per employee retention incentive to be paid out quarterly for all bargaining groups, regardless of whether the group bargained for a retention incentive or not. Lastly, Section 1.10 of the proposed amendment clarifies that provisions related to personal or union leave included in collective bargaining agreements do not require the legislature to appropriate money, and such provisions become effective regardless of whether the legislature specifically appropriates or authorizes the expenditure of money to implement such provisions. In summary, under the proposed amendment, every employee in each bargaining group would receive the 1% COLA in each fiscal year of the upcoming biennium, as well as a $1,000 retention incentive in each fiscal year of the upcoming biennium. The proposed amendment would fund generally similar or like benefits to those each group bargained for 2 years ago and that were ultimately funded by the legislature. For newly organized bargaining groups, the proposed amendment would fund generally similar or like benefits compared to the other bargaining units. As a Senate Majority Leader and a member of the Senate Finance Committee, I am intimately aware of the state's current budget situation. However, it is my conviction that the legislature should prioritize the funding of collective bargaining agreements to the extent possible. Working with Senate fiscal staff, if this bill is approved with the conceptual amendment and given all other actions of the legislature so far this session, we can afford to make this investment into our hardworking state employees while maintaining an appropriate reserve in the state general fund. And so thank you, Madam Chair, for allowing me to present and walk through some portions of this proposed amendment. I would be happy to take any questions that you or the members of the committee may have. And I also have some phone a friends in the audience should we require any technical assistance, and of course our staff here as part of the committee. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. I believe Senator Wynn does have a question.
Thank you, and I appreciate the work. I know that we've been having some long nights trying to figure out what we can do to make sure that our state employees that we've spent the last couple of months trying to make sure that we're able to fund those positions and keep some of these things rolling. And we've been able to bring down the vacancy rates in a lot of our different agencies across the entire state, a lot in part with what we did last session. So I just want to have a couple of clarifying questions that we can have for you that I think you would be able to answer, or you have a phone a friend that would be able to answer as well. If we were not to pass any of these, any of the recommendations that were included in either the original collective bargaining bill, the original, print of Assembly Bill 596, come July 1st, the benefits that are included in your amendment, this Senate Finance amendment, would be taken away. So our state employees would actually lose pretty significant benefits come July 1st. Is that correct?
Thank you for the question, Senator. Through you, Madam Chair, to Vice Chair Wynn, Nicole Canizaro, Senate District 6. So that is correct. State employees do not have evergreen provisions in Nevada law. And so what that means is that when that contract expires, which would be starting with that new fiscal year in July, a lot of the pieces that are funded in this amendment would not exist for those employees any longer. That was sort of the impetus for, I think, considering what it was that we could potentially do. And so when we talk about how can we help make those employees stay whole, we started with what are some of the provisions that currently exist in those contracts for those employees, how can we continue to potentially fund those in order to sort of maintain that, and that's where this amendment started. And then of course we took a look at there are some differentials between some of the collective bargaining agreements depending on who it is that they are representing, but most of those things are things that for that particular group would be consistent or somewhat as most as we can consistent with what they have current.
And so I know that during the closing of the budgets, we didn't expand positions. We tried to cut as many positions as we possibly could. This isn't any kind of expansion of any of, this is consistent, I should say, with what we have made all along the road here on trying to keep people level or flat. With this amendment, this would keep those employees at a flat benefit as what they received during the last biennium. Is that correct?
Thank you for the question,
as best we can.
Senator. Yes, through you, Madam Chair, to Vice Chair Wynn, Nicole Canizaro, Senate District 6. So yes, there are portions of this that do keep that relatively flat. I understand that we are in a different financial situation than we were last legislative session. And again, I think we made great strides, right, in trying to help make sure that our state employees were whole. And to your point, I think in our budget presentations, we have heard that there have been a reduction in vacancies. I think when you reward people, right, they're incentivized to stay. These folks like their jobs. They like serving our constituents. And I often say that state government tends to be this touchstone for which our constituents in interact with government. Most folks don't go immediately, and some do, but most folks are not coming to get a car registration or to come into contact with someone in some other level of state government to look for benefits or applications for things by calling a state senator. They make that decision right through our hardworking state employees. And so when we can do that right, we can recruit and retain good folks that do very essential services throughout the state. This proposed amendment also includes some additional pieces, right? The 1% COLAs in each year of the biennium are something that would be that wouldn't necessarily be that flat piece that you have talked about, but I think are a recognition of what we have from a fiscal perspective and what we can do for these state employees who came in and collectively bargained with the state and have agreements that were approved through the Board of Examiners.
Thank you for the additional questions. When I'm reading the original bill as introduced, those are the collective bargaining agreements of at least, I think it was 9 or 10 of the collective bargaining units, and then we received a bill too late in session for the remaining 2. I think it was the remaining 2. And so this does include all of those bargaining units. Is that correct?
Thank you for the question, Senator. Through you, Madam Chair, to Vice Chair Wynn, Nicole Canizaro, Senate District 6. Yes, that is correct.
And the original number that they were asking for, if we were to fund all of these, for example, it would be around $320 million.
Thank you for the question, Senator. Through you, Madam Chair, to Vice Chair Wynn, Nicole Canizaro, Senate District 6. I believe that is correct. It is a very large amount.
And the amendment that you're proposing would be a total of $94.9 million in general fund. So obviously, we are not able to, given the financial outlook of our state currently, to be able to include all of that. But this gets us to as flat a possible as we possibly can to make sure that come July 1st, some of our correction officers aren't losing like some of the medical benefits that we that they collectively bargained for, that we weren't able to fund in some of these individual one-shots, but are included in this bargaining agreement. Is that correct?
Thank you for the question. Through you, Madam Chair, to Vice Chair Wynn, Nicole Canizaro, Senate District 6. That is correct.
And I'm at a loss for words because I remember Senator Titus and Senator Dondero Loop wanting to include state firefighters in some of these bills that we had taken them out. I think it was out of Senator Steinbeck's bill. But this actually kind of covers some of those costs for those examinations that weren't included in that bill. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you for the question, Senator. Through you, Madam Chair, to Vice Chair Wynn, Nicole Canizaro, Senate District 6. That is correct. I believe Senator Steinbeck had a bill, I believe it was Senate Bill 370, if I'm remembering correctly, or something similar, that provided for certain cancer screenings. Part of the amendment had taken out some of our state firefighters. They had bargained for this in the collective bargaining agreement, and that is reflected in this proposed amendment.
And thank you, Chair, for all of the questions, and thank you, Majority Leader, for those answers.
Thank you very much. You stole a couple of my questions. It's okay. It's okay. I was going to ask about the firefighters myself. Senator Titus. Other questions from the committee? I noticed, and this is just a general question, I noticed in the amendment, in the proposed amendment, there were several strikeouts. Were those just corrections or updates or different verbiage? Is that what happened with some of those?
Thank you for the question, Madam Chair. Nicole Canizaro, Senate District 6. So I will not try to pretend that I am legal counsel for the legislature and moonlight as an LCB attorney. I believe that was because the bill as introduced included certain pieces that would have funded the entire collective bargaining agreements for certain units. There were changes that were then made on the Assembly side to do retention bonuses, and then this amendment reflects just the differences in the amounts for accounting for the pieces that we have included that do include a retention bonus of $1,000, but then also have some of the other pieces that were designed to keep all of our state employees whole. And so some of those amounts that were allocated in the bill as it came over to us are different, and that's what that language would reflect, are those changed
Okay,
amounts.
thank
And if
you
I've gotten that wrong, I'm sure
Right.
somebody will.
Thank you very much. I just wanted some clarification. All right, any additional questions? All right, thank you very much. Majority Leader, if you'll step back, we'll call for those in support of Assembly Bill 596.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, committee members. Todd Inglesby, representing the Professional Firefighters of Nevada, specifically Battleborn in this. But we also want to recognize the Senator's work on this and your committee for working on this. We were very grateful and thankful for this bill. We full-heartedly support. We think it's a step in the right direction for all our state workers who work hard to keep and protect our great state. Thank you.
Thank you, Senators, for the opportunity of speaking in front of you today. My name is Don Hicks, and I proudly represent the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 21. I'm advocating today for the Nevada's correctional officers and forensics officers. I'm here today to show support in this amendment, and I want to express just thank you for the support that you've shown. Over the past 2 years, the Category 3 peace officers have seen significant improvements in hiring and retention thanks to the legislative support and a collective bargaining process that's worked. This stability has allowed our officers to focus on their mission, ensuring safety and security in Nevada's correctional facilities. So thank you for your support.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Cassie Charles on behalf of the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees. I genuinely want to express my sincerest gratitude to this body and for all of the work that you and your fiscal staff have put into this amendment. We have had state employees in this building for many days, many long days, telling you about their lives, about their workplace, about what they experience every single day, and I could not be more grateful for what you are putting back into this to help support our state employees every day. They go out, they represent our state, they do the good work, and this amendment will definitely help them in doing that. So thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Andrew Clark. That is C-L-A-R-K-E. I'm here today on behalf of New Day Nevada, an organization that cares deeply about economic justice, especially for everyday Nevadans, including our state workers. This bill recognizes what too often gets overlooked. These are the people who keep our state running. They've shown up for us, and it's past time that we show up for them. We urge your support, and thank you so much.
Good evening, Chair Dondero Loop and members of the committee. For the record, Carlos Hernandez, representing the Nevada State AFL-CIO. The AFL-CIO wants to thank Senator Cannizzaro as well as this committee for always advocating for our state workers. We'd like to echo also the testimony made by Professional Firefighters of Nevada as well as AFSCME 4041 and urge the committee to support the bill. Thank you.
Kent Irvin, K-E-N-T-E-R-V-I-N for the Nevada Faculty Alliance. I'm only seeing the mock-up over the last few minutes, so I'd be happy to be corrected for any misinterpretations. We are happy to support the amended bill that partially funds collective bargaining agreements for our classified colleagues. That's great. However, on behalf of our members, I have to note that state employees who work side by side with union groups are left out of this bill. That includes classified employees who are not in the current bargaining units. It includes NSHE professional employees, faculty, and graduate assistants who are not included in NRS 288 and are not able to collectively bargain, as well as your hardworking legislative staff, judicial employees, PERS employees who do not have collective bargaining. On July 1st, all of those employees, because of the retirement contribution increase, we'll see a cut in take-home pay of, for regular employees, 1.75%, as well as a loss of the retention bonuses that you graciously awarded in 2023 that will expire at the end of this month. So I've been saying this all session, so it's no surprise that I just have to put on the record that there's more work to be done here. Thank you.
Any additional, those in support in Carson City. Las Vegas, please go ahead if you are in support.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Dondero Loop, and members of the Senate Committee on Finance. My name is Paul Lunkwitz, President of FOP Nevada CO Lodge 21. We represent the correctional officers, forensic specialists, and supervisors in the state of Nevada for Category 3 peace officers. I wrote a very long-winded opposition to the bill. The Amendment 906 was catastrophic for a lot of our members. I would like to take a moment to thank Senator Canizaro for her efforts in at least getting us to level and at least getting us a little bit of an offset for the PERS decrease that we're going to see for our officers. This is a great step in the right direction. It rights a wrong that was taken on by the state in collective bargaining, and I applaud the members of this committee, and we fully support this new proposed amendment. I have a feeling that in concert with, hopefully, AB 356 next year, we won't run into a lot of these same issues. And obviously, we all want our CBAs funded and fully funded. But I would like to thank this committee and in particular Senator Canizaro for her efforts to get us at least back to what we had before for the previous CBA. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Finance Committee. My name is Leslie Quinn. Originally, I was opposed to AB 596. However, I would have obviously preferred AB 596 as it was originally written. But now with the Second Amendment that Senator Canizaro brought forth, makes me glad because it makes it much more palatable. I hope we can work towards much greater support for correctional officers in the future, and that all legislators will also support SB 508, which will also greatly impact corrections. Thank you.
All right, AVH, is there anyone in support online?
If you would like to testify in support of AB 596, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Good evening, Alexander Marks with the Nevada State Education Association. We'd just like to ditto the previous comments and urge your support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much, AVH. Are there any other callers?
Hello, my name is Jesse Haynes. I'm with the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 21. I do urge support for this bill, and while I believe that not funding the original bill erodes the trust of the public in collective bargaining, this at least is an attempt to try and remedy the amendment to 596. Thank you all for your work.
Hi, my name is Justin Bransky. I want to speak in support of this bill. The original bill, I believe, should have been accepted and passed the way it was. But at this point, with this new amendment, I think we're on the right road to a better future for the state employees covered in CBAs. One thing I would like to add in there just for thought is there are still some employees that aren't covered by CBAs in specifics captains and above at certain agencies that are not represented. And each time employees below them get their CBAs ratified and get some of the benefits from those CBAs, it makes it difficult to promote individuals into those places because they are not supported by a CBA and they do not reap the benefits. Just something to think about for the future, but I appreciate all the work by the chair as well as all the committee members and everybody that put in work to get this new amendment. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the committee. This is Anna Binder again. As the wife of a corrections lieutenant who is a member of our CO Lodge 21, I just want to echo the support that was spoken before me. And I do just want to have a little technical note that a lot of our workers are currently in facilities and they do not have access to their phones or emails. So it's also a Sunday night. So I hope you guys get some rest tonight. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Julian. I'm a forensic specialist at Stein. First, I want to speak in support of the bill. Just want to just say thank you for all the hard work that FOP and the committee members put into the bill. And yeah, thank you.
Caller with the last three digits 243, you are muted on our end and you may begin.
Good evening, members of the Senate Finance Committee. For the record, my name is Nicholas Kareem. I'm a forensic specialist and the union trustee for FOP Lodge 21, speaking up on behalf of the forensic staff. We are supporting AB 596 with the proposed amendment 3128. It's not the full award we were promised, but it restores enough to move forward. That said, we're still starting the year with a pay cut, considering FERS is going up 5%. Thank you.
Hi, the Senate. I just wanted to say thanks for the hard work you guys have done and really appreciate the rewrite of this bill. And I'm in support of it and I want to really thank you because if it wasn't rewritten as it is now, that a lot of officers would have ended up quitting, going somewhere else, and we wouldn't have the family time that we have now. So I really appreciate it. And thank you. Again, my name is Jason Steinauer, CO at High Desert State Prison, Sergeant at Arms, FOP Lodge 21.
If you have recently joined us or have yet to speak and would like to testify in support of AB 596, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. There are no further callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Those in opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please.
If you would like to testify in opposition to AB 596, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. Caller with the last three digits 000, you are unmuted on our end and you may begin.
Hello, this is Brandon Everett, Forensic Specialist 3 at Stein Forensic Hospital. Thank you for all your hard work and helping us. I know this has been a stressful 2 weeks, but we are thankful and grateful that we have came to an agreement and moving forward for our state employees because of all the hard work that all state employees do and everything that we can do moving forward. So we appreciate what you guys have given us for the next 2 years. Thank you.
Caller with the last three digits 349, you are unmuted on our end and you may begin.
Good evening, Chair Dondero Loop and members of the Senate Finance Committee. My name is Jacob Holgren. I'm currently employed as a forensic specialist at New York Times Forensic Hospital in Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been a state employee for nearly 9 years, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today about several pressing concerns. I just wanted to bring up something real quick. I just wanted to make note. It takes just a little over 3 months to hire a state worker. It involves an extensive background check, psychological evaluation, landlord, personal references, credit checks, divorce decrees, fingerprints, etc., etc. By contrast, my son was hired at Panda Express in about a week and a half. After all is said and done, both a state-employed law enforcement officer and a fast food worker often end up taking home roughly the same pay. I'd like to ask you today, how do you think this makes sense? How can the state demand so much from its workers and yet be so comfortable offering so little in return? This alone is a serious problem that should be concerned to the state. It's bad enough that state workers' take-home pay is comparable to fast food wages, and now there's possible talk about stripping away the hard-won gains secured by our unions. Who's coming up with these solutions, and how do we expect to address the state's severe vacancy rates this way? This drastic 5% PERS increase couldn't come at a worse time, especially with inflation where it is today. The change represents a roughly 30% reduction in take-home pay for many workers. Does anyone truly believe this is reasonable? How much more is the state comfortable taking from us? 35%, 40, 50, 60%? There must be a ceiling we can all agree on. As if these issues aren't enough, the state is also increasing our medical expenses while all of this is happening. Gentlemen, this is a terrible time for the state to be playing games with this bill. This bill needs to be passed in its original form because the state failed to allocate funding for the collective bargaining agreement, specifically Units I and N. Even if the unions agreed to the state proposal, there would be no funding available to support the proposed CBA. The state was fully aware of the financial commitments outlined in the CBA and had a duty to ensure they were reflected in the budget. This is nothing but a clear case of bad faith bargaining, and the state is attempting to ignore its legal obligations to negotiate honestly and fairly. I urge you today to amend the bill back to its original version with full funding for the CBA. Doing so would show real commitment to a fair and lawful labor practice and restore some measure of trust in the bargaining process. Thank you for your time.
There are no further callers to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And I will go to neutral here in Carson City and Las Vegas. And on the phone lines, please. AVH, when you're ready.
There are no further callers to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Any closing remarks, Majority Leader?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nicole Canizaro, Senate District 6. Just a couple of things. First and foremost, I want to thank all the members of this committee. Certainly, Senator Titus and I talked about some of the firefighter coverages pieces because I knew that was important. We knew that was important for them. The members of this committee who have spent late nights trying to figure out what it was that we might be able to do and asking a lot of good questions, I appreciate it. And so this was really a very big group effort when it comes to trying to make some decisions here. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank our fiscal staff who ran many scenarios for us to allow us to be able to have a better idea of what it was we could do and could not do. Obviously, we would love to be able to fund all of this. We would love to be able to do all of this across the board. I believe in collective bargaining. I think it's important because it does allow for our employees to have a voice in the process. And I think that what we can do to help support them is important. And that should not be taken in any way, shape, or form as a non-recognition of those other state employees that we have working who are doing really amazing work. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity and to have the ability to try and figure out a different solution here that might work for folks, and just appreciate the time to be able to talk about the good work that I think we have done with this amendment. So thank you, Madam Chair.
And thank you for the bill. All right, with that, I will close Assembly Bill 596. And we are going to take a quick recess, so stay tuned. Okay, we are back from recess and we're going to do some work session. So we will start out with Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. The first bill on work session this evening is Assembly Bill 49. This was heard yesterday in this committee, revises provisions relating to educational personnel. The bill was presented by Dylan Shaver on behalf of the Washoe County School District, and the bill makes changes related to licensing for education personnel. Per testimony at the bill hearing, the Nevada Department of Education that had a fiscal note on the bill has removed its fiscal note. Accordingly, there's no longer fiscal impact associated with the bill. There is no testimony in support, opposition, or neutral. No amendments. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much, Senator Wynn. A second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. And Senator Taylor, would you like the floor statement on this?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll go to Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett. Assembly Bill 93 was heard in committee this morning. It expands the definition of police officer to include certain school police officers, juvenile probation officers, bailiffs, and deputy marshals of the municipal courts for the purposes of certain benefits under the Nevada Occupational Disease Act and other benefits and exemptions. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Hibbets. Regarding fiscal impact, the bill contains general fund appropriations of approximately $3,000 in fiscal year 26 and $8,000 in fiscal year 27 to fund the cost of certain examinations for state agencies. No amendments were presented. There were a number of comments in support, no comments in opposition or neutral. And if the committee wishes to approve the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Senator Titus is a nay. And let's see, Senator Stone, would you like the floor statement?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next bill on work session is Assembly Bill 108. This bill was heard 2 days ago on May 30th in this committee. The bill makes an appropriation to the Outdoor Education and Recreation Grant Program account in the amount of $250,000 in each fiscal year of the upcoming biennium. The bill is presented by Assemblymember Howdegi. There were a number of comments in support, no testimony in opposition or neutral, no amendments. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I will ask Senator Wynn to take the floor statement.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Crockett.
Kathy Crockett. The next bill is Assembly Bill 169. It was heard in committee on the May 31st. It requires certain public and private health insurance policies and health plans to provide habilitative and rehabilitative speech-language pathology services as treatment for stuttering individuals under the 26 years of age. Regarding fiscal impact, the Public Employees Benefits Program did indicate a fiscal impact. However, that was removed through an amendment to remove PEB from the provisions of the bill. The bill was presented by Speaker Yeager. There were 2 comments in support, no comments in opposition or neutral, and no amendments were discussed. If the committee wishes to approve the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second by Senator Canizaro. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll give the floor statement to Senator Neal. And Ms. Crockett.
Kathy Crockett, the next bill is Assembly Bill 188. It was heard on committee on May 31st. It would require various actions related to the Public Employees Benefits Program. It would require them to prepare a report. It would increase the cap of the HRA accounts of individuals who are eligible for those accounts to $15,600. There was discussion of a fiscal impact of PEB requiring staff to administer various provisions of the bill. However, it was noted that PEB is proposed to move into the newly formed Nevada Health Authority, and it's unclear if additional staff would be needed. I believe that Senator Wynn is proposing a conceptual amendment to this bill. If the chair would permit Mr. Hartz with the Fiscal Analysis Division to approach the table and present the aspects of that amendment.
Welcome, Mr. Hartz, to Finance After Dark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Alex Hartz, Fiscal Analysis Division. The conceptual amendment you have before you would accomplish several things. The first is to make a general fund appropriation of $2,003,655 in fiscal year 2027 to the Public Employees Benefits Program to fund the cost of increasing the $13 per month per year of service health reimbursement arrangement contribution by $1 to $14 per month per year of service that a retired state employee enrolled in Medicare through the PEB-sponsored Medicare exchange is entitled to receive pursuant to subsection 2 of section 2 of Assembly Bill 583, which is the PEB rates bill, which has been signed by the governor of the 83rd legislative session. To accomplish this, besides the appropriation being added to AB 188, there would also be new language that amends subsections 2A2 and subsection 2B2, which is the fiscal year 27 benefit of Assembly Bill 583 to increase the share to be paid by the state or local government in fiscal year 27 to $210 from $195 for those who retired on or before December 31st, 1993, and then to $280 from $260 for those who retired on or after January 1, 1994. And then there would be language added that requiring that any unspent balance of the general fund appropriation would be required to revert to the general fund.
Thank you very much. Any comments? Senator Wynn.
Thank you, and thank you for helping put together this conceptual amendment over the last couple of days. For those of you that are on this committee, I know that we've had several conversations about this when we were closing the budgets, and we were talking about how this health reimbursement arrangement, these accounts, the contributions haven't increased in quite some time. We also talked about the rising costs of healthcare and how these accounts would really go a long way to help contribute to lowering some of those healthcare costs that our state employees currently have. I think this is a good step in that direction. I think it is a good investment in our Public Employees Benefit Program to help fund those increasing costs of healthcare and allow, in combination with the underlying provisions of this bill, to allow those employees and retirees to be able to utilize those funds and carry them over as well. It is something, again, that we had discussed during closing. I believe it was something that, quite honestly, if I had remembered, I probably would have asked to be included when we were closing the budget. So I would ask for the support of this committee in moving this amendment forward with Assembly Bill 188.
Thank you very much. Any additional comments? Okay, I will accept a motion.
I would so move to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. And I'll take a second from the Senator Canizaro. And any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Nay from Senator Titus, Senator Stone, and Senator Buck. With that, the motion passes, and I will ask Senator Nguyen to take the floor statement. All right. Thank you, Mr. Hartz. I think we go to Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. The next bill on work session is Assembly Bill 212, revises provisions relating to early childhood education. This bill was heard 2 days ago on May 29th in this committee and was presented by Leslie Pittman with the Waterford Institute. The bill contains a general fund appropriation of $1 million. In each year of the upcoming biennium, the appropriation will be made to the Department of Health and Human Services for costs associated with the virtual early childhood family engagement program. There was no testimony in support, opposition, or neutral. There were no amendments discussed or presented. If the committee wishes to move forward with this bill, the appropriate action would be do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
Do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll take a second from Senator Cannizzaro. Any discussion on the bill? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. And I will give the floor statement to Senator Titus. We'll go to Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett. The next bill is Assembly Bill 221. It was heard in committee on May 30th. It exempts a physician's office or certain health care facilities from state permitting requirements for administering general anesthesia or sedation to dental patients, provided the physician is also licensed as a dentist, holds a dental anesthesia permit, and administers sedation solely within the scope of that permit. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Edgeworth. Regarding the physical impact, there was a fiscal note from the Division of Public and Behavioral Health indicating a minor fee reduction. However, the agency subsequently confirmed that they believe this reduction was immaterial and it would not affect their budget. No amendments were presented or discussed. There were no comments in support, opposition, or neutral. If the committee wishes to move the bill, the appropriate motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So move to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll second from Senator Cannizzaro. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. And I will have Senator Titus, of course. Mr. Thorley, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley again for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. The next bill on work session this evening is Assembly Bill 251, revises provisions relating to the inspection of meat and poultry. This bill was heard on May 30th in this committee and was presented by Assemblymember Koenig. There was no testimony. There was testimony support from UNR, no opposition or neutral testimony. There was discussion at the bill hearing about the effective date of the bill in Section 4. Fiscal staff working with LCB Legal and the bill sponsor subsequent to the bill hearing has a proposed amendment for consideration to clean up the language in Section 4. This would make the bill Sections 1 through 3 effective upon passage and approval for purposes of adopting any regulations and performing any preparatory administrative tasks. And then on July 1st, 2026, for all other purposes, it would remove the language in the bill that it becomes effective when a decision unit in the budget becomes effective. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be to amend and do pass as amended with the correction to Section 4.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
I'd so move to amend and do pass as amended with the corrections to Section 4.
Thank you very much. I'm impressed. And I'll say shake a second from Senator Cannizzaro. Any comments or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Motion carries, and I will give the floor statement to Senator Neal. Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. The next bill on work session this evening is Assembly Bill 282, revises provisions relating to billing for health care. This bill was heard 2 days ago in this committee on May 29th. It was presented by Assemblymember Ornlichter. There was testimony that the amendment that was adopted by the Senate Policy Committee prior to this bill coming to Finance, which resulted in the reprint 2 version of the bill, added a fiscal impact. Accordingly, the bill sponsor presented a proposed amendment at the bill hearing to remove sections 2 sub 6 and then in section 3 sub 8 and 9. Doing so would remove the fiscal impact associated with the bill. There was also discussion of an amendment to the definition of billing entity. This is in section 3 sub 10. The amendment would change or clarify the definition. So billing entity in the current language of the bill says a provider of health care. It would clarify a provider of health care who is a solo practitioner. That would be the clarification there to billing entity. If the committee wishes to move this bill with the 2 amendments, one, the first amendment to remove those sections to eliminate the fiscal impact, and then the other amendment to clarify the definition of billing entity, the appropriate action would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'll accept a motion.
I'd so move to amend and do pass as amended with those 3 correction changes.
Thank you very much, and I'll take a second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Nay from Senator Stone and Senator Titus and Senator Buck. Thank you very much. Motion passes, and I'll give the floor statement to Senator Wynn. And Senator Buck, would you mind taking Assembly Bill 251? I didn't realize I'd given one to Senator Neal, and okay, perfect. Perfect. I was looking at my list trying to figure out who I'd skipped, so I'm sorry. So Senator.
The meat packing should go to the chair.
Yeah, no. Thank you so much, Senator Buck. You're being a good sport. All right, and Assembly Bill 282 went to Senator Wynn, and we're at Assembly Bill 284. Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett. Assembly Bill 284 was heard in committee on May 31st. It requires Medicaid to request federal authority to provide certain reimbursement rates for the cost of vagus nerve stimulation devices. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Brown May, and regarding fiscal impact, it does include general funds of approximately $55,000 in fiscal year 26 and $240,000 in fiscal year 27, as well as federal funding to support the cost of these devices. Staff was contacted after the hearing by the bill sponsor to request a technical amendment to clean up some language to more accurately reflect the intent of the bill, and that would be to strike section 2(1)(c) from the bill, and that relates to an 82% cost of procedure associated with the device. There were no comments in support, opposition, or neutral. If the committee wished to move the bill with the amendment that was requested by the sponsor, the motion would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
I'd so move to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much, and I'll take a second from Senator Canizaro. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I will take the floor statement. Somehow I wished I could hand floor statements to all of you in the audience. You know, there's just this part. Like you're in class, but you're not having to do any work. All right, with that, we'll go to Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. The next bill on work session this evening is Assembly Bill 296. Revises various provisions relating to motor vehicles. This bill was presented yesterday in this committee by Assemblymember Watts. The bill would do three things: require the DMV to contract with a state licensed installment loan provider to offer loans to vehicle owners to pay for fees and taxes due at the initial or renewal vehicle registration. The bill also would authorize the DMV to permit the use of digital license plates. And then lastly, the bill would extend the expiration date to the pilot program collecting data on annual vehicle miles traveled. There was lots of testimony in support, testimony in opposition from the Nevada Coalition of Legal Service Providers. There's no neutral testimony. There are no amendments. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be to do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. No, nay from Senator Titus, Senator Stone, and Senator Buck. No, you're okay? Okay, Senator Titus and Senator Stone. All righty. Then with that, the motion passes, and I'll give that floor statement to Senator Nguyen, and we'll go to Assembly Bill 304.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett. Assembly Bill 304 was heard in committee on June 1st. It requires a practitioner or entity conducting a pilot program involving transcranial magnetic stimulation or electromagnetic brain pulse treatment to notify the director of the Legislative Council Bureau before beginning the program and to submit quarterly reports regarding data and outcomes. Regarding fiscal impact, it was confirmed by the Department of Health and Human Services that there is no fiscal impact following some previous amendments to the bill. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Karras. There were no amendments discussed at the hearing. There were 3 comments in support, no comments in opposition or neutral. If the committee wishes to approve the bill, the appropriate motion would be to do pass.
All right, I will accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'm going to give this floor statement to Senator Pizzina, who is not here, but I will give it to her. All right, Assembly Bill 331, Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 331 was heard on May 30th in this committee. The bill makes an appropriation to the Division of Public and Behavioral Health of the Department of Health and Human Services for a grant program to expand the biennial survey administered pursuant to the Youth Risk Behavioral Surveillance System developed by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention of the United States Department of Health and Human Services. The amount of the appropriation would be $440,000 over the biennium. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Brown May. There was lots of testimony in support, no opposition or neutral testimony. There are no amendments discussed or presented. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. I'll take the floor statement, and we'll go to 356, Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett. Assembly Bill 356 was heard on May 30th. It revises various statutes relating to public employee collective bargaining, including stating that the governor must include, when practicable, funding agreed upon in collective bargaining agreements within the proposed executive budget. It moves various timelines for the collective bargaining process, including stating that negotiations begin by April 1st. That date is currently October 1st. Regarding fiscal impact, the bill does include a general fund appropriation to the Division of Human Resource Management of approximately $144,000 in fiscal year 26 and $189,000 in fiscal year 27 for positions to assist with collective bargaining agreements. It also includes appropriations of approximately $142,000 in fiscal year 26 and $183,000 in fiscal year 27 for the Governor's Finance Office for a staff dedicated to the collective bargaining process. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Monroe Moreno. No amendments were presented and discussed. There were 3 comments in support, no comments in opposition or neutral. If the committee wishes to approve the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much, and a second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I will give the floor statement to Senator Canizaro. We'll go to Mr. Thorley, Assembly Bill 366.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley again for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 366 was heard yesterday in this committee, and it revises provisions relating to housing. The bill was presented by Christine Hess with the Housing Division. As amended, the bill provides a general fund appropriation of $21 million to the Nevada Supportive Housing Development Account. There were several folks providing testimony in support, no testimony in opposition or neutral. No amendments. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. A second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I will give the floor statement to Senator Taylor. Thank you, Chair. And with that, we'll go to Ms. Crockett for Assembly Bill 375.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett. Assembly Bill 375 was heard in committee on May 30th. It authorizes the Board of County Commissioners of a county to enact ordinances to authorize covered food establishments to sell or deliver alcoholic beverages for consumption off the premises of that establishment. It requires the Department of Taxation to adopt regulations that provide for the collection of a surcharge on each such retail sale and allows the department to utilize a portion of these proceeds to carry out provisions of the bill, with the remaining proceeds being directed to the Ignition Interlock and DUI Reduction Program. The bill also designates the Pecan Punch as the official state drink of the state of Nevada. The bill was presented by Speaker Yeager. The fiscal impact of the bill, as I mentioned, is the surcharge that the Department of Taxation would then use to fund the costs of carrying out the provisions of the bill. There was 1 comment in support, no comments in opposition or neutral, and no amendments were presented. If the committee wishes to approve the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
I'd so move to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Canizaro. And any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I will give the floor statement to Senator Wynn. All right, we will go to Mr. Thorley, Assembly Bill 409.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 409 was heard on May 30th in this committee. Revises provisions relating to special license plates. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Hafen. The bill's amendment requires the issuance of a special license plate by the DMV to veterans of the Space Force and their spouses, parents, or children. There was testimony at the bill hearing that there is no fiscal note. Mr. Sean Sever from the DMV during neutral testimony also testified that the bill would have no fiscal impact on the DMV. There was no testimony in support or opposition. There were no amendments. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
So move to do pass.
Thank you very much, and take a second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. 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 All those opposed say nay. And the floor statement can, oh, I'm sorry. I have a nay from Senator Neal. I understand that. And with that, motion passes, and we will give the floor statement to Senator Scheibel. Thank you. You're welcome, present. All right, Assembly Bill 475.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett. Assembly Bill 475 was heard on committee on May 29th. It appropriates general funds totaling $21 million to Clark County, the City of Reno, and Nevada Rural Housing Authority for eviction diversion programs. Testimony on the bill was provided by the Nevada Coalition of Legal Providers. There were a number of comments in support, no comments in opposition, and one comment in neutral. No amendments were presented and discussed. If the committee wished to move the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll take a second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll give the floor statement to Senator Stone. And we'll go to Ms. Crockett. Assembly Bill 476.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assembly Bill 476 was heard in committee on May 30th. It makes a general fund appropriation of $500,000 in each year of the upcoming biennium to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas to provide pro bono legal services. This contributes to the success of students at the William S. Boyd School of Law. Testimony on this bill was provided by Assembly Member Watts. There were 3 comments in support and no comments in opposition or neutral, and no amendments were presented or discussed. If the committee wishes to approve the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'll take a motion.
I'd so move to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Scheibel. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll ask Senator Buck to take the floor statement. I'm going to give her like 4 in a row now. All right, Mr. Thorley. Assembly Bill 479, I believe we're on.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 479 was heard in this committee on May 29th. It revises provisions relating to the taxation of agricultural real property. The bill updates Nevada tax law to recognize agrovoltaic purposes, the combined use of land for agricultural and solar energy production as a valid agricultural use for tax assessment. The bill was presented by Assembly Member Watts. There were several folks in testimony in support. There's no testimony in opposition or neutral. There are no amendments. There was testimony by the bill sponsor that all fiscal notes have been removed. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be do pass.
I'll accept a motion.
So move to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion. Thank Senator Buck and Senator. Okay, just Senator Buck. All righty. With that, I will give the floor statement to Senator Stone. Do you mind taking the floor statement? No. All right. Thank you very much. All right. We will go on to Assembly Bill 467.
Kathy Crockett, Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 467 was heard in committee on May 31st. It authorizes the administrator of the Division of Public and Behavioral Health and the Department of Health and Human Services to enter into a contract with an organization to establish and operate a facility for the treatment of defendants to competency within the county jail or detention facility in a county whose population is $100,000 or more to the, or 100,000 or more to the extent money is available. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Roth, and it was confirmed that the Division of Public and Behavioral Health indicated there was no fiscal impact with the bill. There was one comment in support, and no comments in opposition or neutral, and no amendments were presented or discussed. If the committee wishes to move the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion on this bill? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. I know, I understand it's late. I am fully aware. Assembly Bill 467.
I'm good. I'm a yes. Thanks. Sorry.
Okie dokie. Crisis averted, and also alerted. Alrighty, with that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll give the floor statement to Senator Titus since she caused the alarm. All right, we are on Assembly Bill 494.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley again for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 494 was heard this morning in committee, revises provisions relating to education. The bill is presented by Assemblymember Torres Fawcett. Requires the Department of Education to prepare a report if the provisions of certain federal laws and regulations are repealed by the federal government. There were several folks in testimony in support, no testimony in opposition or neutral. There was a proposed amendment presented by Assemblymember Torres Fawcett that was handed out to the committee. It's in conceptual form. The proposed amendment would reassign certain reports regarding the continuation of federal laws to different agencies. Would assign Section 4 on HIPAA to the Department of Health and Human Services, assign Section 5 on Title 6 to the Division of Human Resource Management, assign Section 6 on Title IX to solely NSHE, whose institutions have Title IX office to support the work, and then assign Section 6.3 on the ESEA, that would to NDE. If the committee wishes to move this bill with the conceptual amendment, the appropriate action would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So moved to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. Any second from Senator Scheibel? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Nay from Senator Titus, Senator Stone, and Senator Buck. All right, with that, I will give the floor statement to Senator Neal. And we will go to Assembly Bill 514. Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett. Assembly Bill 514 requires Medicaid to cover rehabilitative residential mental health care, excluding room and board for eligible recipients. It establishes a licensing and regulatory framework for these providers. Regarding fiscal impact, there is funding in the bill to support these Medicaid costs, including general funds of approximately $30,000 in fiscal year 26 and $551,000 in fiscal year 27, as well as associated authorizing federal funding. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Brown May. There was one comment in support, no comments in opposition or neutral, and no amendments were presented. If the committee wishes to approve the bill, the appropriate motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll go have a second from Senator Scheibel. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll ask Senator Buck to take the floor statement. And Assembly Bill 515, Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 515 was heard this morning in committee and revises provisions relating to adoption assistance programs. The bill was presented by Cadence Matievich with Washoe County and Joanna Jacob with Clark County. The bill as amended includes additional provisions for categorical grants for the Division of Child and Family Services that they provide for adoption assistance programs to each agency that provides such services. The bill includes general fund appropriations totaling approximately $8 million over the biennium to the 3 child welfare budget accounts to be reinvested in certain child welfare services and reduce the unexpended balance of adoption savings reported to the federal government. There was no testimony in support, opposition, or neutral. If the chair would like, Mr. Miller is here from the Fiscal Analysis Division, come up to the witness table. We do have, fiscal staff has a small technical amendment to present.
Welcome, and please go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair and members of the Senate Finance Committee. My name is Daniel Miller from the LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. The proposed amendment before you just is some fixes some technical minor adjustments in the bill. Section 1 would be amended just to clarify that the general fund remaining from the Adoption Subsidy Program would be reinvested into the adoption savings liability. For Section 5, where it discusses the internal audit, that just clarifies that the internal audit would look at expenditures supported by state revenues. And for Section 6 of the bill, this would be amended to require that Sections 1 and 2 of the bill become effective upon passage and approval, and Section 3 through 5 become effective on July 1st, 2025. With that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions? I'll accept a motion.
So move to do that, amend and do pass.
Thank you very much. And a second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll ask Senator Wynn to take the statement. Thank you very much. Assembly Bill 533. And Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett. Assembly Bill 533 was heard this morning. It authorizes a pupil to attend a public school outside of the zone of attendance that pupil is otherwise required to attend if the public school is not at capacity in the grade level of the pupil, and the pupil receives approval to attend the school. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Torres Fawcett regarding the fiscal impact. The Department of Education indicated they believed any work could be absorbed by their existing staff. There were 4 comments in support, no comments in opposition, 1 comment in neutral. No amendments were presented, and if the committee wishes to approve the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So move to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Senator Buck, will you please take the floor statement? Thank you very much. Assembly Bill 542, Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 542 was heard yesterday in this committee. It revises provisions relating to offenders and was presented by Director Zarenda with the Nevada Department of Corrections. The bill as amended extends the reversion date of an appropriation made in the 81st legislative session for the reintegration of the offender sentence management system into what is known as the Nevada Offender Tracking Information System, or NOTIS. The bill also makes various revisions regarding the calculation of offender sentences. There was no testimony in support, opposition, or neutral. There are no amendments. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So move to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Senator Neal, will you take this floor statement? That wasn't a very happy sure. All right, I want a little enthusiasm around here. It is 7:45. We've got lots of stuff in us still. Assembly Bill 550.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assembly Bill 550 was heard in committee on May 30th. It revises requirements related to competency risk assessments for commitment of certain defendants. This is a budget implementation bill related to the Division of Public and Behavioral Health, and this would align law with the budget approved by the money committees. The bill was presented by a representative of the Division of Public and Behavioral Health. There's no additional fiscal impact outside of the approved budget. There were no comments in support, opposition, or neutral, and no amendments were presented. If the committee wished to approve the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. And I'll ask Senator Taylor. You want to jump on this one for me?
Enthusiastically.
There's what I'm talking about. You got it. Thanks. All right. Assembly Bill 558.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 558 was heard on May 28th in this committee. The bill makes an appropriation to restore the balances in the stale claims account, the emergency account, and the contingency account of the Interim Finance Committee. The bill was presented by Tiffany Greenemeyer. The amount of the appropriations are identified in sections 1, 2, and 3 in the bill. There's no support testimony, opposition testimony, or neutral testimony. There were no amendments. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Scheibel. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and we're going to give this one to Senator Titus. All right, 581, Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assembly Bill 581 was heard in committee on May 26th. It makes a appropriation of $44.7 million to the Department of Corrections that is supplemental to appropriations for this fiscal year, primarily related to overtime as well as some shortfalls in inmate-driven and utilities costs. The bill was presented by representatives of the Department of Correction as well as of the Governor's Finance Office. There were no comments in support, opposition, or neutral, and no amendments were presented. If the committee wishes to approve the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
I'd so move to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Scheibel. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'm going to give this one to Senator Scheibel. There are no cars. There are no cars. It's because they spent the money on overtime, so. Too soon? Too soon? Assembly Bill 567.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 567 was heard in this committee on May 28th and presented by NC Chancellor Patty Charlton. The bill makes an appropriation to the Nevada System of Higher Education for safety and security equipment and enhancements in the amount of $11 million from the state general fund. There were several folks providing testimony in support, no testimony in opposition or neutral. There were no amendments. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll go to Senator Stone.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, Stone.
We don't have many to go. Keep it up. All right, Assembly Bill 568, Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assembly Bill 568 was heard in committee this morning. It provides general fund appropriations of $57.5 million to the Nevada System of Higher Education for operational and instructional expenses. The bill was presented by the Chancellor of the system of higher education, as well as the chief financial officer. It was indicated that they were not seeking a budgetary policy change regarding funding for cost of living adjustments, and it was noted this is one-time bridge funding. And the bill does include language urging the system to seek additional sources of revenue to support costs in the future. There were a number of comments in support, no comments in opposition or neutral, and no amendments were presented or discussed. If the committee wishes to approve the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much, and a second from Senator Scheibel. And any discussion on the bill? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll take the floor statement. And we are at Assembly Bill 571. Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 571 was heard in this committee on May 28th and was presented by Deputy Superintendent Megan Peterson with the Nevada Department of Education. The bill makes various appropriations, general fund appropriations to the Department of Education for various purposes. There was no testimony in support, opposition, or neutral. There is a proposed amendment from the chair. The amendment would eliminate the appropriations in sections 1 and 2 of the bill. That totals about $4.6 million in savings. In section 5, the appropriation would be reduced by approximately $709,922 in each year, for another $1.4 million in savings. The total savings with those three changes is approximately $6 million. In its place, the amendment would allocate $2 million in each fiscal year of the biennium, so $4 million over the biennium, for school supplies for teachers, and then the remaining $2 million for the Discovery Education K-12 learning platform. If the committee wishes to move the bill with the amendment that I just presented, the appropriate action would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'll accept a motion.
So moved to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I will take the floor statement. Assembly Bill 585, Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assembly Bill 585 was heard this morning in committee. It reduces the number of bill draft requests for legislators and other requesters and establishes various deadlines for submission of measures. The bill was presented by Speaker Yeager, accompanied by the Legislative Council. Regarding fiscal impact, the LCB Legal Division did project a savings in overtime if this bill is approved. There would be no additional costs. There were no comments in support. There were several comments in opposition. No comments in neutral, and no amendments were presented. If the committee wished to move the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any nays? Okay, great. Motion passes. Assembly Bill 585 will go to Senator Wynn. Okay, Assembly Bill 595.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 595 was heard last night in this committee and revises provisions governing fiscal information for legislative measures. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Monroe Moreno. The bill revises provisions governing the information concerning the fiscal effect that must be included in the summary of each bill or joint resolution introduced in the legislature. There was no support testimony, opposition testimony, nor neutral testimony. There are no amendments. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Scheibel. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those say nay. Motion carries. And I will give this bill to Senator Neal. And with that, Assembly Bill 596. Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assembly Bill 596 was heard in committee this evening. It was presented by Majority Leader Canizaro, who presented an amendment to the bill. The amendment contained general fund appropriations of $94.9 million and highway fund appropriations of $16.6 million over the biennium to enact certain provisions of collective bargaining agreements. Generally speaking, the amendment proposes to continue current benefits for bargaining units that are in existence at the moment, as well as extend like-kind benefits to newly organized units. It would also provide a 1% cost of living adjustment in each fiscal year of the upcoming biennium, as well as a $1,000 retention incentive in each fiscal year of the biennium to all organized groups. There were a number of comments in support. No comments in opposition or neutral. If the committee wished to approve the bill with the amendment presented by the Majority Leader, the motion would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you very much. I will accept a motion.
So moved to do amend and do pass.
Thank you very much. And I'll accept a second from Senator Scheibel. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. And I will give this floor statement to Senator Canizaro. Okay, here comes the exciting part. Everybody gets recess. We get to go to the floor, which means we'll be back. You all get to go do what you want to do, and we get to go work. All right, with that, we're in recess.